Hello besties, my name is Taiwo and you're welcome back to my channel today, Easy Sewing with Tai. On the channel today is a detailed tutorial on how to make a palazzo short or wide leg pants using slash and spread method with side zipper and hook, okay? So please ensure that you subscribe if you are yet to and like this video. Also put on the notification bell to get notified when I post new videos. Thank you. So to everyone coming across the channel for the very first time, you're welcome. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to have you here. And to all of my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. I do not take it for granted. I appreciate you all so much. Now let's get started.
So this short palazzo pant will be achieved using the slash and spread method, which is why I'll be drafting the front pattern on the paper first, then slash through it before transferring to the fabric. Then I'll use that front fabric to cut out the back fabric. So we'll be drafting out pattern on the paper only for the front. This is my start point, and this also equals to my waistline. The first vertical measurement I'll be putting here is the waist to the hip, which is 7.5. Then the waist to the crotch line, which is 10.5.
And the full length of the short, which is 16. So I'll go ahead and roll all of that across. Now I'll go ahead and label it. That's the waistline, that is the hip line, that is the crotch depth, and that is the length of the short that we're working with today. So the next thing to do now is to put the horizontal measurement, and the first horizontal measurement I'll be putting down is the hip measurement. So the hip measurement divided by 4, I'll go ahead and put it on the hip line, on the crotch line, and on the waistline. Then I'll go ahead and rule a straight line connecting these 3 points together like so. Now the next horizontal measurement to put down is the waist measurement. So starting from that straight line, you can see where I'm putting my tip measure, okay? You want to go ahead and put in the waist measurement. Now if you will be adding that to your pants, then you can add 1 inch to that measurement for your dart intake. But if you will not be adding that like me, then there's no need to add 1 inch, okay? So after that, you just want to connect the waist measurement to the hip line like so. Now the next horizontal measurement to put down is the thigh measurement. So on the crotch line, you want to go ahead and put in your thigh measurement. Divide the thigh measurement by 2 and add ½ inch. The thigh measurement they're working with today is 23. 23 divided by 2 is 11.5 plus half, that is 12. So you want to go ahead and mark it and extend the line if need be, like so. After which I'll go ahead and create the crotch curve. To do that, you just want to go up by 1 inch and come out by 1 inch like that. This will guide you into drawing the perfect curve. So this is what I've been using and it works well for me. So you want to go ahead and do that and draw out your crotch curve like so. And now the next thing to do is to come down by ½ inch on the waistline that way and connect it to the side. So this is to give it a perfect fit. This is to give it a perfect fit because the waistline is actually not straight. So you want to go ahead and do that. And now the next thing I'll be doing is to put the thigh measurement on the length. So if this was a fitted short or pants, I would just go ahead and put the lower thigh measurement on that length line or reduce the thigh measurement by 1 inch. But since this is a palazzo, we are still even going to slash through. I just want to maximize what I have there. So I'll put the exact thigh measurement on that length line and I will connect it together like so. Now the next thing to do is to locate the center of this pattern, and to do that you just want to divide that thigh measurement into 2 like so. You can see the way I'm folding the tape measure. Then you just go ahead and note that measurement on the length, crotch, and on the waistline so as to get a straight line, because we will be slashing through this line. Later. So this is just to show you what I was saying earlier. If you are making like a fitted short pant, you just want to spread out the lower thigh measurement that way and you connect it like that. So this is just like a bonus. Now we'll just go ahead and cut out our pattern. Now it's time to cut through the center. You want to keep cutting till you are almost at the waistline. Don't cut it all out. You don't want to cut it all out completely. You just want to leave it a little bit at the tip that way. And now it's time to transfer this onto our fabric.
What you have to do now is determine how wide you want the outcome to be, how wide you want to spread it with. So I decided to spread mine by 10 inch. So what I did is that I spread the center line by 6 inches. Then the remaining 4, I distributed it on both sides, on both the center and the side of the trouser. So I have 6 inches here, I have 2 here, and I have 2 here. So that's where my 10 inch is complete. You can decide only to add fullness to the center of the trouser, but I decided to spread it out a bit. So I added 6 inches fullness to the center, 2 inches fullness to the side, and in total I added 10 inch. That is how wide I want this short palazzo trouser to be. So everything else is the same. You would connect it from the hip line, not from the waistline, from the hip line this way, and from the crotch also. And I also added allowance to the hem for folding it in. I added 1 inch allowance, so you can add 1 allowance, 2 inches, depending on your preference. So this side, I did not forget, I won't be cutting it off yet because I'll be using this fabric to cut out the back. Once I'm done using this fabric to cut out the back, then I'll go ahead and trim out this 1/2 inch at the center. It is important because the waistline at the front is not straight. And now this is what we have. You can even confirm if it is balanced or not by folding it into two this way. You can see that it is balanced at the end, so one side will not be longer than the other. So now I'll use this front pattern to draft out the back. I also added 1/2 inch here to join this waistline to the band because this trouser will be having a band.
So now my fabric is on fold and I've placed the front pattern on it. We'll be making few alterations to this to make the back pattern.
Extend the crotch line out this way. And you add something called crotch extension. So to get that, divide the hip measurement by 20. The hip they're working with is 40. 40 divided by 20 is 2 inches. 2 inches.
Then I'll go ahead and add 2 inches to the side and connect it to the crotch extension like so.
This 2 inches crotch extension, 2 inches allowance. Note, this crotch extension is just 2 inches. There are some crotch extension that will be 3. If the hip is 45 thereabouts, the crotch extension might be 3 when you do your calculation. So the crotch extension, whatever you get after dividing your hip by 20, put it here. Then on the sides, add 2 inches allowance to it. It's not usually the same, it's just a coincidence that it is both 2 inches. It is both 2 inches. Now here at the center also, you want to raise it up by 1.5. I'm raising it up by 1.5 because of the bump at the center here. Then at the crotch also, I'll go ahead and add 2 inches. That is my crotch line for the back. Then I'll just slant it. You are only raising the center part of the trouser. You are raising the center only, not the side. The sides remains the same. The sides remain the same. Now I'll go ahead and reduce this by 1/2 inch, like I did in the pattern. And I can now cut it out. Then I'll go ahead and cut out the back pattern. So this is what we have. The next thing to do now is to cut out the band. So I'm gonna like to cut out the band 5 inches by the waistline. So this is for the back and this is for the front. So it's time to move over to the sewing machine.
So this is the front. I'm gonna need to join the two pieces together at the crotch area using 1/2 inch. I've also gonna need to fix my pockets on the two sides. So I have a designated video on how to attach pockets. The link to that will be in the description box, so you can check it out if you did not know how I went about this. So now because of the 2-inch extra allowance that we added to the waist area when we are drafting the back, we cannot just go ahead and sew it by 1/2 inch at the crotch area at the upper part. You want to go ahead and mark out 1/2 inch at the side, that way for joining the sides. Then you go ahead and put in the waist measurement that way. It is from where your waist measurement stops. You can see where I'm marking with the chalk. That is from that place that you will start sewing. Then towards the end of the back crotch, you will sew it by 1/2 inch, just as I am doing right now in this video. So this is what you want to do, okay? So this is how you want to sew the back crotch, unlike the front crotch where I just sewed it by 1/2 inch, because that I have my exact waist measurement for the front pattern. Now that we have successfully joined the two front pieces together at the crotch area and the two back pieces together at the crotch area, the next thing to do now is to join it at the side. So at one side, I'll go ahead and sew it all the way to the end, and at the other side, I will not sew it off completely. I will be leaving space at the upper part for the zipper. You'll see when I get there. But for this side, you do not want to back stitch at the upper part there, because you are still going to add the band. So you don't want to back stitch at the upper part, because you will still lose it a bit to fix the band. Okay, so if peradventure for your own short you want a front zipper fly, I have a designated video on that as well. The link will be in the description box if you do not want to have like your zipper at the side. But for this particular short, for the purpose of today's tutorial, the zipper would be at the side. So I've left 7 inches thereabouts. It depends on the length of your zip. Okay, so you want to go ahead and sew off the waist, after which you will fix the zipper. So now you just want to go ahead and fix the zip, but note that the zipper allowance you are using here now is the 1/2 inch. Okay, and also you want to be careful not to sew over your pocket opening. So you want to go ahead and sew off your zip this way. So now this is what we have. We are done fixing the zip. The next thing now to do is to sew it by 1/2 inch at the inseam. Okay, so you want to make sure that the crotch line for the front and for the back, they both match up that way. Then you want to go ahead and sew it by 1/2 inch. You can sew this twice so that you be sure that that area is secured. I like sewing it twice, so I'll go ahead and do that now. Now the only thing left to do is to attach the band and also to fold and sew in the hem. Now to fix the band, it's the same process for both the front and the back. And if you do remember, during cutting, I actually cut out the band for the front and the back separately. Now this is my preference. So what you want to do, and remember that the height of the band is 5 inch. So what you want to do is to just sew it to the body of the trouser using 1/2 inch, like I'm doing now. You want to go ahead and sew the band using 1/2 inch first. So at the side that has the zipper, you want to have an extension of like 1 inch, because you are still going to add the hook to the band, okay, to hold it at the waist. So you want to have an extension of 1 inch at the side that has the zipper only. I'm gonna to use my iron to fold out my band height, which is 2 inches, and I also use an iron to fold in 1/2 inch that way. So I'm just going to place it this way, and I'm going to sew neatly close to that line, neatly, to sew down my band. Okay, you want to sew it at the right side this way. So I'll go ahead and do all of that. Okay, so before you get to the end that way, you want to reduce this allowance. I'll reduce it to like 1/2 inch. Then you want to notch it. You want to notch it at that band height, and you flip it to the wrong side. Then you would sew it. After sewing it, then you will turn it out. That way you achieve a neat look at that side. Now this band that we are fixing is for the front. It is for the front. The way you would finish off the side, the extension at the back would be different, because that one will have to overlap. But this is for the front. You just want to go ahead and do it this way. Just follow through what I'm doing in the video. Sew it at the wrong side this way, then would flip it inside out to have a neat look at that side. Now I will just go ahead and complete the band that I was sewing earlier. So this is the front. We are done with it, and this is what we have. Now it's time to move to the back. I've already attached the band using the 1/2 inch. I've gone ahead to use an iron to fold in the band height and all of that. So now this back at the side that has the zipper, it will have an extension of like 1 inch, and I'll be using 1/2 inch to sew it. So I'll go ahead and measure out 1.5, and I'll trim off the excess. Then I'll also notch it at the band height. Then I'll go ahead and sew it by 1/2 inch. I'll go ahead and sew it by 1/2 inch, and I will turn it inside out. Just follow through what I'm doing in the video, okay? So this is the kind of neat look that you're hoping to achieve, that 1 inch extension. So I'll just go ahead and sew on it like I did for the front. I will sew very close to the stitch line so that it would look neat, and voila, we are done fixing the back band as well. So now this is it. I'll go ahead and close the zip. So this is the overlap look that we are looking to achieve. So there will be a hook here. You'll be fixing a hook here, or a press button, whatever your preference is. Now at the side that does not have the zipper, you want to go ahead and sew it that way. You can sew it by 1/2 inch, or you can go ahead and retake your waist measurement again and just sew it off at the side. So this is what we have so far. Our trouser is almost ready. You can see how beautiful it is. So you can also extend your zipper all the way to your band. Okay, you do not have to do this. It does not have to have this hook and all of those stuff. You can also extend your zipper all the way into the band. Okay, and now the final thing to do is to fold it and sew it at the end. Remember, I added 1 inch allowance, so I'll just go ahead and fold it by ½ inch that way, and the trouser is ready. That will be all for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying to the end. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you gained value from it. I hope that you learned 1 or 2 things. If your answer to all of this is yes, then please like this video, share it, leave a comment for me, engage, let me know what you think. Okay, and you can also connect with me on my Instagram page at @tyke_tyke. And if you're yet to subscribe, please do not leave without doing so. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.